This guy's name is Junt, a real estate agent. He has a very strange hobby, stalking people. When clients give Junt the keys to their houses to sell them, he uses them to break into their homes. However, once inside, Junt doesn't steal anything valuable. Instead, he takes some very meaningless things like this pink wedding invitation. Then Junt takes his loot back to his secret room, where he keeps many things he's stolen from other homeowners. The fact that they were doing these things satisfied Junt's curiosity, but there was one thing that bothered him and that he couldn't uncover yet. Han, a rising star on social media. 5 months ago, Jun accidentally encountered her in real life, and since then he's been following her every move. She used to show off her red earth bags and frequent famous restaurants. But lately, she's become a completely different person, often posting pictures of herself doing charity work on social media and receiving many compliments from netizens piqued Jun's interest and curiosity, so he began planning to break into Han's house. However, despite his best efforts, he couldn't get the password. This made him very angry. Then one day, Han unexpectedly showed up at Jun's real estate office. He tried to act calm, as if it were the first time he'd met her, and wanted to move and wanted to consign her rented house. After reviewing the contract, Jun agreed to help her and he was delighted. He secretly rejoiced that he could finally enter Han's house, something he had always longed for. That night, Jun broke into Han's house alone. He checked all the rooms and took pictures of her cosmetics. Those would be his spoils of war. Back home, Jun watched Han So's livestream, finding her so adorable, which greatly amused him. A few days later, Jun went back to Han's house with the intention of fixing a broken electrical wire. When he opened the door and stepped inside, he witnessed a horrifying scene. Hanora lay motionless on the sofa, seemingly having passed away. Jun T was extremely panicked and considered calling the police, but then thought better of it, fearing he would get into trouble. He quietly left as if nothing had happened. That night, Jun T took the couple to see Hana Ra's house before renting it. It would have been better for him if the three of them had witnessed the scene, but Jun T couldn't have imagined that Hana Ra's body had vanished without a trace. It seemed someone had come beforehand to clean up the scene. Jun T didn't understand what had happened, which only made him more uneasy. He secretly wondered if the killer had seen him there and was trying to turn him from a witness into a criminal. A few days later, Jun T searched online for information about Hansa but found nothing. It seemed the police hadn't discovered the case yet. When Jun T went to his office, someone sent him a letter containing a note that read, "Is that you?" along with photos of the Hansa crime scene. After seeing these things, he felt extremely panicked. Jun T asked his assistant, but she didn't know who sent it either. When she arrived, she found it clipped to the door. At the same time, Jun T received a call from the security team saying that his mother's memorial had been vandalized and the perpetrator hadn't been found yet. Next to his mother's memorial was a torn-up photo of Jun T and his mother, seemingly a message from the culprit that he was next. Before Jun T could recover from the shock, a truck suddenly crashed into him. He was lucky to escape just in time before things got worse. Shortly after, Jun checked the other car but couldn't find the driver. Even through security camera footage, the police couldn't identify the culprit. At the same time, Hano's best friend came to the police to report her friend's disappearance. She had recently received a phone call from Hano, who told her to notify the police if she lost contact. Hano's case wasn't simply a matter of being missing for a few days. It was very possible she had been murdered somewhere. That night, Inspector O went to Jun's office and informed her. Regarding Hano's disappearance, Inspector O learned from the investigation that Hano had come to his house to consign something. Jun admitted this was true and revealed that he had gone to Hano's house to investigate, but she told them they needed to leave quickly, seemingly not wanting them to stay long. Inspector O then asked Jun what he had done on February 19th, the day he witnessed the incident. Jun hesitated and said, "That day I went to Hano's house, but she wasn't there." Inspector O wanted a list of those. Someone arrived at Han So's house and immediately found her house key. Inspector O and his accomplices immediately went to Han So's house. Jun T, feeling worried, secretly followed them to check. Inspector O didn't think Han Soza had gone on a trip or anywhere else, as she hadn't taken any cosmetics, clothes, or suitcase with her. A moment later, Inspector O discovered a bloodstain under the sofa. The police immediately arrived to cordon off the scene. Seeing this, Jun T became extremely worried. If he was careless, he would be charged in this case. Jun now only has the option of finding out who the culprit is. He sits down and reviews Hano's video on social media. She's explaining herself after being accused of using donations illegally. The girl with the nickname Hollow is the one Jun suspects, as she was the first to criticize Hano in all her posts. Upon checking, her real name is Ho Zyugi. She's also the one who claimed to be Hanya's best friend and reported the disappearance to the police. The next day, Jun tracked down Ho Zyugi's house and found a way to break in. She was here. Jun saw some red envelopes. They looked very much like letters from a mysterious person sent to him. In addition, Jun discovered a photocopy of a text message from the person who messaged Ho Zyugi. He had also commented on Hans's posts, often using negative language directed at her and even cosplaying Hans's pictures. Wherever she went, he did the same thing. He was nothing more than a despicable stalker. Jun realized that those two were. The culprit who harmed Han X was revealed when everything seemed to connect too clearly. Returning home, Jun sensed something unusual. The power in the house suddenly went out inexplicably. He grabbed his baseball bat for self-defense and went to check if anyone had broken in. Just then there was a strange noise outside the door. Jun asked who it was but received no reply. He peeked through the door and saw a familiar red card. He reached for it but unexpectedly someone inside the house ambushed him. The other person then opened the door for the other to enter. They seemed to want to eliminate Jun because he knew too much, but after struggling for a while Jun luckily escaped. The face of one of them was revealed and he was the stalker Hano. Immediately afterwards, Jun went to the police station to report the incident. He believed that Hugo and the stalker and Hano had conspired to harm Hano. Inspector O wondered why the two of them were targeting him and what their purpose was. After hearing this, Jun couldn't explain further. Immediately afterward, the two returned to Jun's house to check everything again. When Jun T switched on the power, he witnessed another horrifying scene. The stalker Dong Ha had unexpectedly taken his own life. Jun T couldn't understand why this was happening. He tried to retrieve the red letter from the mess, but Inspector Than quickly stopped him. After reading the letter, she continued to question Jun T about what he had done on February 19th, asking if he had sneaked into Hano's house. But Jun T denied everything, denying any acquaintance with the man and Dong Ha. Inspector Than then pulled out a photo of Jun T and the man together despite Jun T's denials. Jun kept insisting it was a photoshopped image but couldn't change anything. Jun was accused of harming Hano along with Yang Ha. When the inspector tried to arrest him for further investigation, he quickly escaped. Ho Zugi continued posting to tell everyone about Hanya's case. The person involved in her mysterious disappearance was a real estate broker. Meanwhile, Jun was on his way to find evidence to clear his name. He blamed himself for getting himself into trouble. Soon after, Jun went to Dong Ha's house where he discovered a crumpled address was found in room 128 Namjiang. Suddenly Jun T remembered his mother's memorial house and immediately went there. Jun T unexpectedly took the ashes and quickly ran away. The security guard noticed but was powerless. Jun T apologized to his mother before opening the urn. Inside was a knife, probably the murder weapon, along with a familiar letter with a note. "Police, if you know it won't be a big deal." Meanwhile, Han's sister unexpectedly arrived at Inspector O's office. She revealed something to Inspector O. My younger sister is mentally ill. She even promised never to see my parents again because of her debt, which forced our whole family to hide for the past 4 years. She even pawned our youngest sibling, who has a mental disability. She'll do anything for money. Meanwhile, Jun T went to Ho Zuga's house to question her, claiming she was the one who harmed Han So and Yang Ha. But she kept insisting she didn't lay a hand on Han So and that her contact with Yang Ha was only to sue him for stalking her. Feeling worried about Han, I went to the police myself. The reason I insulted her on social media was to attract followers. I would earn 20% commission, but when it came time to collect the money, I couldn't contact Han. And these red cards are from her. Whenever she received money, she would put it in there and give it to me. Jun suddenly remembered the scent on the masked man that night. It was very similar to the scent of the cosmetics he had seen at Ham Soza's house. At this point, he began to believe what Hugo said was true, and wondered if Ham Soza was still alive. That's exactly right. All the plans were orchestrated by Hanso herself. She always thought of herself as the most pitiful person in the world. Even her family didn't stand by her, but what parents could accept pawning their younger brother? After that incident, Hanso left home and vowed never to return. To make a living, she worked as a waitress in a karaoke bar. At that time, she felt like the whole world had abandoned her, not just her family. Then one day, Hanso posted a picture online. It was a coincidence that behind the banner was a volunteer blood donation campaign. It unintentionally attracted netizens who admired her greatly. Hanso burst out laughing, realizing this would be the path she would take. Hanso Jia decided to reinvent herself, creating her own brand. A successful orphan girl who built a shopping mall dressed in luxury items and actively engaged in charitable work. She adopted stray dogs, touching the hearts of netizens who then donated to her. Becoming a perfect person in their eyes, she easily achieved her goals without anyone suspecting anything. From then on, the money in the Hano family's account steadily increased over time while she simply dealt with innocent dogs. Everything went smoothly until she discovered Junt was stalking her. Fearing he would ruin everything she had built, Hano wondered if he had seen what she was doing. She went crazy because of his stalking, so Hano decided she had to eliminate Junt. In the following days, she truly became his stalker. She monitored Jun's daily activities, then personally went to his office to deposit the house. Everything was part of a plan. She couldn't act alone, so she asked Dong Ha for help. She knew he was infatuated with Min, so she could easily manipulate him. Before her disappearance, Hano revealed herself at a convenience store, then returned home to stage a fake murder scene. Intending to scare Jun, she knew that with his personality, he would never report it to the police. After Jun left Hano, she took these photos herself and sent them to him to psychologically terrorize him. Then Hano cleaned everything up, but she didn't forget to leave a bloodstain for the police to see, then disappeared perfectly. After that, Hano broke into Jun's house. She also discovered his secret room. She took a knife from the kitchen, dipped it in her own blood, and then asked Dong Ha to put it in Jun's mother's ashes. Even the near accident where Junt almost died was orchestrated by Hano, and the plan to eliminate him was also orchestrated by her at Junt's house. After he miraculously escaped, Hanso Ra attacked Jun. She would shift all the blame onto Jun, but that wasn't the final plan. Back to reality, Hanso Ra sent a letter to arrange a meeting with Jun, and he was on his way there. Meanwhile, the police received a call from an anonymous person who seemed to reveal Hanso Ra's location. When Jun arrived at the meeting point, Hanso Ra ambushed him. Suddenly, she pinned him to the ground, intending to kill him, but luckily Jun managed to restrain her with his strength. With his superior strength, Jun easily turned the tables. He pinned Hano to the floor, repeatedly asking why she did it. Hano offered no explanation, screaming for help. Just then the police arrived unexpectedly. In this situation, Jun once again became the culprit. Everything was going according to Hanso's plan. She had even prepared a rope to tie around her ankles, easily deceiving the police and making her the victim in everyone's eyes. Jun realized he had fallen into Han's trap. So he had no other choice but to quickly flee. The police immediately issued a warrant for Jun T's arrest, but Inspector Oh still had many questions. She wanted the captain to investigate the case more thoroughly, but all the evidence was against Jun T soon after. Social media was flooded with news about the real estate agent Jun T. His illegal entry into a client's home was exposed, and Hano Ra immediately uploaded a video to recount what had happened. Her fake tears easily deceived all the residents. The comments section below was filled with harsh criticism, but some people still considered him a good person. That day, Jun sent some evidence along with a letter to Inspector O. He admitted to using his position to illegally break into a client's house. He thought it was simply not wrong because it didn't cause any damage, but now he truly realizes the trouble and consequences. Jun arranged for Inspector O to come to the address written in the letter. He promised not to run away like before. When Inspector O arrived, Jun T was already waiting there. It seemed he wanted to do one more thing before turning himself in. Hano received a letter from Jun saying that if she wanted the photo back, she should go to Dong Ha's house. When Hano arrived at the meeting point, Jun T was already waiting. She immediately asked about the photo, but Jun T kept beating around the bush. He asked Hano if she had really raised or killed many puppies. It was strange that she kept bringing them out, but at home she only had 5 puppies left. The puppies that were taken up the hill. Why haven't they come back? There are so many plastic boys in your house and you're searching for them to make money from Queen. Did you kill them? Don't you see how pitiful they are? Hano replied, I'm the one who's pitiful. Do you think I enjoyed killing them? I cried too, but I couldn't handle raising so many. Immediately Hano pointed a stun gun at Jun, causing him to collapse. When he woke up, his limbs had been chopped off. Now she's creating a fake scene. She'll make Jun look like he committed suicide at home. As for her, she would be the perfect victim. Jun asked her why she had to kill Dong Ha. Hano said that if it weren't for him, things wouldn't have gotten this bad. Jun tried to extract information from Hano because he had placed a hidden camera in the room earlier, but unfortunately she discovered it. Hano took it down and stomped on it. Seeing this, Jun laughed like a madman. Before that, he had cooperated with Than Cha O to find evidence to expose her. He discovered that Yang Ha wasn't the only person Hano had murdered. There was another girl. Hano Ji's former female colleague also disappeared not long ago. Jun saw her wandering around the hill that I often mentioned, and he asked her if the tree under the tree belonged to Jan. Hanso was stunned by this unexpected question, as Jan had previously blackmailed Hanso in exchange for her hiding the fact that Hano Ji used to work at the bar. Furthermore, Jan's sarcasm and mockery had become unbearable for Hano Ji, leading her to murder Jan. At the same time, Inspector O and his colleagues found the hiding place of Jan's body. She was surrounded by many innocent puppies that Han Sura had brutally murdered, while Han Sura kept claiming to be the most pitiful victim. She wanted Jun to close his eyes just this once and everything would be alright, but he thought she was just a psychopath. Enraged by this, she attacked the puppies. Just as Han Sura was ending his life, Inspector O arrived in time, and the police stormed in to arrest Han Sura. She was accused of murdering Dong Ha and Jae Hyen, despite her repeated claims of being the victim. Jun T was also arrested for trespassing and stealing truly meaningless things. A year later at Hanok prison, she had an interview with reporters. She always mentioned her own misery when she claimed to be a pitiful person. She subtly criticized people like Jun T, saying they always wanted to see how unhappy they were, filling their own misery with the misfortune of others. At the same time, Jun T was released after a year in prison. He immediately went to Inspector O to express his gratitude, as she was the only one who had been there at the time. Trusting and listening to him, the inspector said he didn't need to thank her because it was something she should do. At the same time, she reminded Junt that he was also a criminal, not a victim, as he was a stalker but had already received a fitting punishment. She hoped Junt would think about it and live a more meaningful life. After hearing what she said, Junt didn't dare look into the eyes of those around him because he was afraid that he would be provoked or become curious about them, which would lead him to repeat his past mistakes. The film ends here. The perfect crime is over. Goodbye and see you all in the next videos.